Hello, it's Jesse with ZBH, and just coming to you tonight with a little project that I've just done. As you can see behind me, I have the Govee's. Hello, kitty. This is my cat Cosmo. I don't know if you can see him. Anyway, I got the Govee Smart Curtain Lights, and I've got those installed. And here's the box. It came in a 2-pack. I'm going to go ahead and do an unboxing and show you what comes with this. And then I'm going to show the installation of what I've done. And you get to see the end result now, and we'll get going. Thank you very much. Like and subscribe. Thank you. Hello, this is Jesse with ZBH, and I just wanted to do a review and an install of the Govee Curtain Lights. This is the 2-pack from Govee, and Christmas is coming up. Just wanted to add some additional lighting to the house, and so I purchased this 2-pack. You can have up to 3 of these that will work together and synchronize. I'm going to start with 2. Just wanted to do a quick unboxing here to show what's inside, and then I'm going to move to the install outside and just go over kind of what I decided to do and how I decided to install it. And I have some other Govee products, and I've been impressed with those. So I wanted to give this a try, and I really kind of liked the functionality that I saw. So here we go with the box, and this happens to be the 2-pack, and just wanted to start with 2. I'm going to put one on each side of my door, have them synchronize together. Let's go ahead and open the box here, and we'll just set this aside. So inside here we've got some pamphlets, some information. Just going to set those aside. Yep, this is all normal, just advertisements for future or additional products. The user manual, which I will go over when I do the install. I'm not going to really go over the user manual itself, but there's different installation options. So we're going to decide on which one I'm going to do here and then proceed. I'm sure it will change depending on where this is installed and what your individual circumstances are. Let's go right here and let's start with the accessory kit. I'm going to go ahead and look what's inside here. Looks like some mounting options. This is probably, I'm going to guess, 1 pack per lights, since we have two lights. So I'm going to just set those aside here. Let's go ahead and inch the next half of the box open, and it looks like we've got the power supplies for each set of lights with the waterproofing, the screws on the bottom there for the power. So we've got those 2. Gonna set that aside. All right, it looks like they include a screwdriver here. It looks like that just kind of fell out as I was unboxing that. So I have better screwdrivers, but I guess if you don't have one, they do give you one. I'm not sure if I've decided upon using screws or adhesive. Either way, there we go. I'm just going to set that aside. So let's just move this over here. All right, let's move on to the actual lights. And I'm going to only unbox one of these for you now, just because the other one is just going to be rinse and repeat. It's going to be the same thing. So it's like they've hopefully got these packaged in a way that doesn't cause them to tangle. Oh good, they've got some Velcro straps here. So we've got a Velcro strap. Looks like another bundle with a Velcro strap around that. That's nice, because we can probably use those Velcro straps during our installation and our cable running. And looks like these are going to be the pieces that hang down. We're probably going to mount to these, and then the string lights will hang down, below. Looks like we've got an additional connector or connection point. Probably here's our additional wiring for our run. And yeah, looks like that's the main control unit. And then we've got the screw-in power on the other side that will go into our power supply. So let's just set this box aside. And we got 2 of these since it's a 2-pack. I think these are 5.5 by 6 feet is the dimension. Yeah, let's just go ahead, and I'm going to move on to the outside portion of our install. I'm going to decide upon where I'm going to mount, how I'm going to mount. I do have power by my front door, so that shouldn't be a problem, but you're going to want to take that into consideration before you begin mounting. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to plug these in and just make sure they're working before I get them all mounted. That is one key point of any installation that I went over in my last Wi-Fi video, which is to make sure that you get things plugged in and tested before you do any permanent mounting. So, all right, we'll see you on the next step. All right, so here's where I've decided most likely I'm going to be doing my install. So this is my front door. Going to be installing one unit over here, and then link it to the other unit, which is over here, and hopefully all should work well. I've got power right down there, so that's just my initial plan. Let's see how that works, and I'll come back when we're ready to start installing. It looks like there's 2 installing methods. One is with adhesive and the other one is with seamless nails. I don't have any wood or anything that I want to put nails into or holes into here in the front. So what I'm going to do is be using the adhesive method. One thing I do recommend with adhesive is to make sure you've got a nice clean surface for when you do the install. So usually some rubbing alcohol on the spot where you're going to stick the adhesive. So I usually will get that cleaned off and those surfaces prepped so that the adhesive sticks well and doesn't come undone. So, all right, let's move on to the next step of install. Alrighty, so we have a couple mounting options. One is called the seamless nails, which you would take this apart and you would just pound these nails, a little blurry there, pound these nails in and use the hook like this. So I'm not going to do that because I have siding, and my siding, obviously I don't want to put holes in it. Don't want to put holes in my door, which really wouldn't help me much because I'm not installing them across the door. So I'm going to use the hooks and go right in at the top of my siding, because I can slide the hook in between the gap between the two. Now they may not line up exactly, but I can get it to work. And so what we have here is these are called what were they called? Something hooks. And I can't remember the name. So you put the 2 pieces together over the cabling, over the wires, and then you use the screws. There, you can see the screws right there and there. And then this hook will rotate 360 degrees. And just make sure that you pay attention, because that's flat on that side, and there's a little bit of a hump or bevel, bridge right there. Yep, thank you. And these lights look differently, so they don't really glow through the back. They glow through the front. So there's a bump. You can see the bump right there. You want those facing, the bump facing out, because that's the way they should be installed. Otherwise, they're not going to look right. So we're going to go every other one, starting here on the end, skip one, go again, skip one, and we're going to continue on. They give you, I believe, 12 of these hooks, and we're going to install those first before we hang them. We're going to go every other one all the way across, and then we're going to hold them up and we're going to install them. The other benefit of doing it this way is they're removable. And I was going to use the adhesive, and so let me grab that. They do include this adhesive, and you can see there's 12 of them there, 6 and 6. So I was going to do that, and then I just decided, I don't know. I may not like where I install them. I may want to move them. So the hooks allow me to do that. And if I change my mind and want to use the adhesive, all I have to do is peel this off and stick it on the back of here. and this will install right against my siding. So plan number one is to use the hooks. If I don't like them and I feel like they need to be more permanent, I can use the adhesive. Or if I want to move them to a new location and try them out using the hooks, then I can do that as well. So that's my plan. We're going to go ahead and install all these hooks. This is probably the most time-consuming part. Obviously, the install of this stuff always takes the most time. But I've plugged them in, tested them, made sure the lights are all working, and now we're going to install these and then get them hung up, and we'll see what they look like. I'm back with the first set installed. Just want to show what I've done. See if I can zoom in here. So I've got the hooks, and we've clamped them on the wires with the screws. Here you can see that. Some cobwebs there, sorry. And yeah, see how those hooks have just stuck right in there on the siding between the metal, whatever that piece is called, metal siding, and then you've got the plastic or vinyl siding there. How they've hooked in. So I worked from one side, my wife worked from the other. We met in the middle, so there's two close together, which is fine. We were going every other one, and that's how it ended up, which is perfectly fine. And we just go all the way to the edge, and you can see the end there. They've just got that crimped off. And let's zoom out so you can see. And it comes down. It does kind of hang out a bit when it hits this brick, but I don't think it's enough to matter. In fact, the brick may help hold those together, or it may cause them to tangle. One idea that my wife had was we could get a yardstick and install those at the bottom, and then very carefully staple or put adhesive on them to kind of add some weight. But we're going to see if that's really a problem. When the wind blows, it could kind of mess them up a bit, but I'm not sure how important it is to have them exactly lined up straight. But I've started to run a little bit of cable along that edge there, and then I need to spend more time. As you can see, the cable comes out, and then it just goes down. And normally I have that metal basin put in front, but I'm going to leave it to the side because it'll interfere. But it's another reason why I decided to not use the adhesive at the top and use those hooks, is because then we could go clear to the top. So, and from my porch and from the angle, it should be fine. It shouldn't block off the top because my house is a lot higher than the road, so we should be good. And got it plugged in there. The challenge for the other side is going to be, I'm going to install those in front of my address. I'm going to actually meaning to move this address over to the front of the house where it's closer to our driveway. We're going to do the same thing here. We're going to install the hooks. We're going to do that part in the house. Since we know how we want to do it, we can do it up on the bar and have a nice flat surface. I am going to end up with a power cable that I'm going to have to deal with. What I'm going to probably do is run it down here, across. I'll have to go back up and over and then down. So I'm going to have an extension cord to do that. I haven't quite figured out exactly, because you can see that the power cord comes down there on the left side, which means preferably I would like it if it would end up over here, but it's going to end up over there. Anyway, going to go to the next part and I'll show you the final install when they're done. Back here with our mostly final install. I've got my set on the left, which in the Govee app I have named it Smart Curtain Left, and over here we got Smart Curtain Right. It's daytime, so you're not going to be able to see the pumpkins very well. You can kind of see them on there, but of course at nighttime it's going to show up a lot better. One thing I did learn is it does not matter which way you have the lights. So originally I wanted the lights to face the direction these ones are, and the other ones I thought I was going to have the power cord here on the other side. As you can see, I do not have it on that other side. I have flipped it around because when I was installing the lights in the app, it asked me the orientation. So it allows for you to flip the orientation around so you can put the power cord where you want it. For me, I was able to run it across the top of the door and get it out of sight. come down the side. I've got some, need to decide how I'm going to permanently install these plugs. I don't like them coming down to the outlet like that, so I may run an extension cord kind of around the bottom and the side and up, and then have them plugged in up there on the brick. But I don't know, you won't see that at nighttime, but it is kind of driving me crazy. So just wanted to give you a heads up that you can change the orientation and it works just fine, because really when the lights are hanging down, those LEDs do shine through on both sides, and I mean, there's no way to control how they hang down that way, right? Because they just kind of hang freely there. So anyway, that's the setup for me. I'm going to go around and play with it, decide what images I want. If I want to splice them together, you can splice up to 3 curtain lights together. Where I have a big gap in the middle, I don't know if that's going to really work. I'll just have to kind of see what my options are, but wanted to just show you the final install. I've used the hooks and no adhesive. I'm going to save the adhesive for later in case I need it. But yeah, here we are, and I really enjoy them. So go ahead and like and subscribe to my video if you found this useful. But so far, I have found them well worth their price. They do have waterproof connections, and I can't remember the IP waterproofing. I think they were 67, but I'll have to verify what the actual waterproofing is. But where these are up underneath my wraparound porch, there won't be any water getting to them. They should be fine. I don't have any problems with stuff that's installed under here, as long as they hold up to the cold, which I'm sure they will. So and all the connections seem to be pretty rock solid on the waterproofing. So yeah, highly recommend them, and I'm looking forward to using these most. I'm kind of thinking I might leave them up all year round. It just depends. There's a lot you can do within the app and design your own images. There's a lot of there's the Govee library and user areas where you can go and get good ideas and downloads from other users. So alrighty, well, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I highly recommend these. Just my advice, just to wrap up, is to know where you're going to install these, and to really plan this out ahead of time so that you can know what kind of mounting hardware you're going to use. Using the hooks was good for me. May not be good for you. You may have to go with the adhesive, or you could go with the nails and use those as well. So plan ahead, make sure everything's working right before you go do anything permanent. At this point, I can really quite easily remove these and install them somewhere else if needed. So, but for the most part, everything was included that I needed. Didn't have to buy anything additional. Didn't have to really do much. I would recommend that once you decide how you want to mount them, that you take them in the house, put them on a table, lay them out so that you can install those brackets. That would be one bit of advice. Yeah, well, thank you so much. Enjoy.